Actually, yeah, the Lantiers, they are a successful real estate investor couple out of Ottawa. They invest heavily in the Ottawa region over into Quebec, and they've recently done some work also in New Brunswick. I'm just waiting for them to hop on. I don't want to give too much, but essentially yeah, they're going to hop on and kind of break down for us what how they got into real estate, all that stuff. There it is. Perfect. I'm gonna ask them to join right now. Send them a request. Bingo. Let's get this party started.
Hello.
Hello, bonjour. How are you guys?
Good, and you?
I'm good. Thank you. How you guys doing today?
Good, and you?
I know it's been a busy day. It's been a little bit crazy on my end. I'm not gonna lie. Entering the new year, running around with clients, trying to get things closed in time. But no complaints. And yourself?
Oh, busy.
Yeah, it's about the same. Busy.
Jennifer was like analyzing a deal just now. Like 1 second, I'm like, turn it off. We're going.
No
off.
way. Well, was it a
I
good
shut my
deal?
phone off, so it won't ring anymore.
Yeah.
Was it a good deal?
No.
No. Then we'll talk more about that in a second. So everyone, this is the Lantiers. All right. I just want you guys to introduce yourselves. All right. I'll give you guys a couple minutes to kind of introduce yourself, what you guys do, etc.
Okay, great. Well, I'm Jennifer Nazi, and Francois Nazi is my husband.
And we're real estate investors, so we didn't know who to talk first.
Yes.
But
Like each other.
so
No, it's all right.
We've been investing for a few years, but very actively for the past 18 months, I would say, like really, really intense.
Oh wow.
And I actually recently quit my job in November.
Yes.
November 6th, I retired from the 9 to 5 to focus
Congrats.
full time. Thank you for the invest in real estate and just focus on everything real estate investments and
Or sometimes paint walls or change a toilet. No.
run after tenants and different things. So yeah.
Awesome.
We have a family, so 2 teenagers.
Yes.
We live in Ottawa, East End as well.
Nice, beautiful. So that's awesome. So I want to get this started. I want to start a very easy conversation, just more or less. How did you guys start? Why real estate, right?
Yeah, that's a good question.
Well, first of all, you have to go way back. So we met in school. Jennifer and I were college sweethearts. So
Nice, I love it.
1999. That's gonna date us quite a bit, but
Yeah, you guys sound so old.
yeah. Just
No, we don't. No, it's all right.
Y2K, now we have COVID, but back then we had Y2K. The power was supposed to run. That was probably before you were born, but anyway.
No. I was 4.
You were 4. There you go. The power was supposed to be shut down.
Yeah, the internet was gonna make everything
blow
go down.
up, and your bank accounts were gonna reset to 0. So anyway, that's how old we are, like before the dinosaurs. But anyway, so we met and we studied interior design. So
Oh wow.
we love buildings and renovations and everything HGTV. That's been kind of our world.
Yes. I like the mechanics of the building as well, how it works, the plumbing, electrical. It's kind of weird, but anyway, we kind of have like a love for real estate that kind of dates to even when we were studying in college.
Space planning, like we love getting a floor plan and seeing, okay, we can put this here, we can open this wall, and just whenever we just love properties. A lot of people say they're into real estate for the freedom and the investments. Yes, that too, but we love seeing the potential in buildings and how we can renovate it. We don't end up doing half of our ideas because if I did everything I wanted to, everything would be spray painted orange. But anyway.
And we would never sleep.
Yeah.
For sure. So that's actually different. I've never actually heard that. So you actually prefer the aesthetic side of real estate, actually going in and designing, doing the renovations and planning things of that nature.
And Jennifer likes looking after the boilers and the repair and stuff. So,
Beautiful.
yeah,
Beautiful.
The funny mix, but she does as well, the aesthetics as well. Like she likes the finishing, but she also likes the mechanical equipment and things. Like she knows all about flat roof and like the membranes and stuff. I don't even get what she's talking about, but anyway.
Hey, when it comes to analyzing and dealing properties, that's important, right? In terms of how you know how much to bid. Like those are obviously very important questions to ask in terms of when the maintenance has been done on the furnace or the boilers, or when's the last time the roof has been worked on, right? Because that can be a big drastic change in terms of pricing. So when did you guys, you said you passively, got into real estate a little bit, but then the last 18 months, you really started investing, correct?
Yeah.
So we kind of started off with our first house, so always doing what we call a slow flip. So we'd live in it, renovate it, and then we'd make money off of the sale, and then buy another one, and kind of keep doing that. And then one of the times, when we were selling one of our places, we had a really huge penalty, which I'm sure you know about as a mortgage broker. It was like a $10,000 penalty. We're like, no.
It's too much to us. That was huge
at the time.
Yeah.
So we said, what are we going to do? And then I think it was the broker that actually said,
why don't
you just buy another property and use that like they'll let you use the
penalty as a down payment.
As the down payment. So we actually bought a little condo and had his mom as our first tenant.
Yeah.
Wow, that's beautiful.
Yeah.
So let's actually, because I wanted to ask about your first deal. So I think that's a perfect one to break down, right? So obviously you may not give us rough numbers, right? So you broke obviously the mortgage, right? Was it a refinance or you sold the house completely?
Yeah, we were selling our house and we ended up going with another bank because it was a better deal.
Right.
So we just thought, well, we're paying the penalty, but we didn't get the final number, so we didn't realize it was going to be $10,000.
Yeah, we're like, oh, it's going to be $3,000-$4,000, not too bad.
Yeah,
and
no big deal.
Then she told us like $9,900. We're like, okay, that's a little more than we wanted to pay.
Right. So you ended up selling the house.
Yes.
All right, and then you guys bought a condo with $10,000 down payment.
No,
yeah,
more.
well,
a bit more.
We added a bit more to it, but it actually wasn't in this inexpensive condo because it was in a small town, so it wasn't expensive.
We paid $125. Yeah, $125 for the two bedroom, 1,100 square feet. The condo.
Yes.
It was a bit dated. It had like gray carpet and some pink tiles and stuff, but it had it was a big space, like very bright and a popular spot. And my mom was looking for a place at that time, so I'm like, well, that's an easy tenant. I mean, here it is. We're gonna fix it up for you and let the money come in. Which, anyway, we found out it doesn't happen that way. We knew nothing about it.
We knew nothing about what we were doing, and condos really don't make much money.
No.
Condo fees that kind of eat up your profit. And
exactly.
The assessments that end up all of a sudden you have to pay $4,000 for windows, and you don't really get a choice to do it or not. It's just like, here's the assessment. We're doing windows.
Yeah.
No.
And here's the bill.
No, exactly.
3 months to pay it. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's unfortunate. So were you guys living in the one bedroom and then renting the other one to your mom, or your mom was renting?
No, we had a house as well.
Yeah.
So we had a house. We sold our house, but we moved a lot. Way too long. But the house was bigger. Let's say the house was $300,000 because where we were living.
Yeah.
We bought a new house for $200,000.
Ah,
we
okay.
had a $100,000 gap.
Right.
We broke off that $300,000 mortgage. So the bank said, hey, why don't you buy another place? And it's $25,000 more than the mortgage you had. Well, you recoup most of your penalty for some reason, and that served as most of our down payments. So.
Okay, no, that makes sense. So now you have one asset, primary residence that you're living in, and then you're renting out
the condo. Yeah, we had kids and stuff. Yeah, we skipped a few steps there.
No, it's all right. It's because people are in, right? So I just want to, break it down slowly. That way they kind of understand the transition. So perfect. So now you kind of, I would say, fell into real estate, right? Kind of by accident, Now, from there, is that when you started, again, just kind of getting more properties? Was kind of that, was that the light bulb for you guys to be like,
Yeah, when we were doing the condo, which was with his mother, so we weren't making any money. But I'm like, so if we had a property kind of like this, but with no condo fee, I
Then
think that we would make money if we bought a duplex.
Yeah, we bought a duplex. We're like, hey, we qualify. We still have some space, so we bought our first duplex, and it still cash flows even now. We've refinanced it a couple of times.
Beautiful.
Things. And then we bought another duplex, and then for Jennifer's birthday, it was a nasty, disgusting duplex. We were ripping out carpets and stuff. And her birthday's July 22nd, so it was like 43 degrees, and she's like, "Thank you very much for my duplex."
I love it. That's a great gift. Jennifer, you like that, right?
Yes.
Now for the initial duplex that you bought, because you had your primary residence, Francois, your mother was renting out the condo. All right. So how did you purchase that duplex? Was that through? Did you have leftover from the proceeds of the home and savings, or did you save up for a little bit before you went ahead and pulled the trigger on the duplex? Like, how did you acquire that?
Yeah, we saved up a bit,
We did a refinance on our house, and we also got a private lender.
Well, that's the second duplex.
Yes.
The first duplex was our cash.
The first one. Sorry.
Yeah.
The first one was cash.
But our first duplex, listen to this. How much did we pay for it?
It was $110,000.
Where was this?
Cornwall, Ontario.
Oh wow.
So you can't get them for that price there.
No.
Or
No.
like not a good one.
Anywhere.
Scary one, but yeah, 110. So it's like the down payment. You can imagine 20% on that is very minimal.
Very minimal.
So we're like,
Yes.
yeah, let's do it.
And we were actually very blessed because it was 127 the duplex then. So, and our max from the bank was 110. So I said to François, we'll just put them in 110 and we'll say take it or leave it.
And they took it.
And they took it.
Yeah.
Perfect.
They had it on the market, off the market. The market wasn't very hot back then, so
No.
yeah, it was on
only a few years ago.
2016, 4 years ago. So it was a good time to buy, but now it's probably more.
That was 5 years ago.
5 years.
We're in
Yes.
2021.
Sorry, that's the dinosaur.
No, it's all right. So you made that transaction 5 years ago.
Yes.
So this was near 2015, give or take.
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. So it was 110,000. All right, put 20% down, so just a little bit north of 25-ish thousand, give or take. Right? Did you do any renovations on the home?
It was pretty much all renovated.
Yeah.
The only thing we did, the hot water tanks were old, so we replaced those, and
That was it.
we changed the toilet, added a little shed, and that's it.
Yeah, just small things, no renovations.
Yeah, it was all renovated, turnkey.
Yeah,
Pretty much.
It was turnkey.
Yeah, it was nice. That would have been a good birthday gift.
Yes, that would have been a good duplex as a birthday gift.
That's amazing. So that means you were pretty much, give or take, anywhere around 30,000, 35 after you were able to complete all those minor adjustments in that specific property?
Yeah.
Yes.
Now, when you refinance for the first time, do you remember roughly how much it was appraised for?
It was appraised for, I think, 150, 159?
Yeah, 159. So we didn't pull out a huge amount. I think $40,000.
Yeah.
But what was interesting is with that refi, we also got an unsecured line of credit at 3.5% interest.
Wow.
So that's the part you liked, because
Yes.
another $50K, that's kind of loose, and you do whatever you want with it. So
Exactly.
that we really enjoyed.
So that's actually very powerful. So I just want to break that down for people. So you were only
Yes.
about $30,000 to $35,000 all in that specific property. And how long did you wait to refinance?
It was about 2.5 to 3 years later.
So 2.5 to 3 years, you were able to pull the property went up to about 150K in value, you said, to 150-ish.
Yeah.
So again, that's like the power of real estate right there. So not only were you able to pull out 40 to 50K cash in hand, but the bank also provides you an unsecured line of credit for an additional 50K.
Yes.
Yeah, so 85. So we pulled, it's like a burr, but it was a slow burr.
Yeah.
We like slow stuff, slow flip, slow burr.
It's all right. It's all right. So now you have about, with the unsecured line of credit and the cash that you got out from the refi, now you have about, you said, around $80,000 in your hand.
Yeah.
So with that, Yeah, so with that, the 40,000 that we got, we bought our second duplex.
Her birthday
Yes,
gift.
my awful birthday gift.
Beautiful, beautiful. And was that more of a heavy renovation?
Yeah, a little
Yes.
bit more. Especially one unit was renovated,
Yeah.
and then the upper unit needed work. So
It was like pink carpets and
Oh.
yeah, it was bad.
and dark blue walls. So it really needed a facelift.
But it was mostly cosmetic, so no gut job, nothing.
Yeah.
No gut job, no nothing.
No kitchen. I mean, we could use to replace some windows
Yeah.
and stuff, but
We replaced just the handles in the kitchen, kind of gave it a little bit of a facelift.
new flooring,
New
mostly,
flooring.
and paint.
Perfect. And was this in the same area as your first
Yeah,
duplex?
Cornwall again, because we liked Cornwall back then, so we're like, this is great. And
Why
we
not?
paid much more for that one, though. We paid $265,
265.
because it's much larger. The other one was 2 one-bedroom units. This
Yeah.
one got 3-bedroom upstairs, and downstairs it's 2 plus 1. It's like a two-level apartment with a walkout basement that could be a triplex at some point.
Yes.
Okay, that's excellent. Now at this current time, we're about what, 2017, 2018?
2018, yeah.
2018, perfect. And are both of you guys still were you guys still currently working at that time?
Yes.
All right, perfect. So you were using your income to qualify for the mortgages.
Yeah,
Yes.
exactly.
Yes.
Okay.
We had to at this point.
Yeah, no, exactly. And so Jennifer, you finished work a little bit early, if I understand correctly, right? You retired before Francois?
No,
No.
I'm still working actually. Francois the only retiree.
Retiree. Okay, perfect.
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. Now, Francois, you just came from retiring?
Yes.
Yes?
I worked
Sorry.
in the retirement industry and I retired, so it's a lot of retirement.
Okay, perfect. So just for some of the people out there, because they're probably thinking, well, how are you guys accumulating more properties, with obviously a debt load under your name because you own multiple properties, and Francois, you're stepping away. Can you explain that process for those who are new to kind of investing? Like, what type of strategies are you currently using?
Yeah, so I mean, at that point, we kept buying. So 2018, then we moved. We were living in a small town, Hawkesbury. It's an hour east of Ottawa.
Yeah.
And we sold our house there in 48 hours. It was insane. Like for Hawkesbury, that back then the market was super dead, and we're like, well, let's put it for sale and see what happens. And it sold like that. And then we made a little bit of profit on that one. And then we bought a house in Orleans where we live, East Ottawa.
Nice.
And then that house we bought, and within a year and a half, we made $150,000 in appreciation on that house.
Wow.
So we refinanced it, pulled out more money, and then bought more. So it depends on the property you buy. So you can keep refinancing, and I'm not sure what the bank rules are, but it's unbelievable how much you can qualify for mortgage-wise. Like it goes up and up and up.
Yeah.
And
I think you can probably, depending
few
on your
million
income,
dollars.
get 4 to 5 mortgages under your belt on your own if you're
Yeah.
doing buys and kind of doing that strategy.
yeah.
And then we turn to, after that, joint ventures, because you can only get so many mortgages
Under your
under your own name.
Under your personal name. Exactly. And that's kind of where I wanted to lead this conversation in, because that's what people don't understand is, like, with real estate, like you guys said, you're going to tap out at a certain point, because you can only carry so much debt load, because a mortgage technically is a debt under your personal name before you either get into 5 plexes and up, or JV. So talk about some of the JV partnerships, where you go to find them, what is it, networking events, and then how do you know if you want to actually execute a transaction with said JV partner?
Yeah, so joint ventures are a lot of fun. I mean, you find a partner and they have...
It can be more than one partner.
Yeah, it could be more than one. So a JV can be broken down many ways. We're usually the working partner, so we find the deal, we secure the building, we look after like the renovations, things like that.
We make sure it's a good deal.
Yeah, that's a big one.
Yes.
And then our partners usually bring in the deposit and qualify for the mortgage. But it can be broken down where the deposit could come from a third partner, and then the mortgage could be someone else, like the partner number two. And I mean, you could structure it a million ways, or I could put in the deposit and get someone to qualify for the mortgage, and then we put in the work. There's all kinds of options.
It varies a lot, but and I think that the one way that we always find our JV partners is, well, obviously networking, talking with other people who are thinking about investing, or people who don't want to invest because they don't have time, have either the credit or the money, and they want to have a little bit of either like a retirement plan, so they're looking to get money out later, or they want to have a little bit of extra cash every month, so they use either their credit or their money to build that wealth. And we always say that it's kind of like a short-term marriage.
Yeah.
So you have to like us for 5 years usually.
You have to be like, we like to work with people that we would invite for dinner.
Yeah.
Perfect. Excellent. So in terms of now the JV partnership, just so people understand, so there's the working partner, which in all intents and purposes, that's the role you guys kind of like to play. So that's finding the deals, making sure it's a good deal, the renovations, kind of manning that front, right? So let's break that down. Finding a good deal. What strategies do you guys use to analyze the deal? Because I think that's one of the biggest mistakes, or one of the hardest things to learn getting into the investment game, right? Is like, how do you actually analyze a property? Can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, so Jennifer's the numbers lady.
Yes, Jennifer.
I do like the relationships and all the crazy projects.
He's the artist, but what I find is you have to make sure that the deal is going to be in a good place, so there's at least a decent amount of market appreciation. I don't entirely rely on market appreciation because it can vary and it's kind of speculation.
Right.
It has to be in an area which cash flows, which is usually secondary markets. So hot markets like Toronto don't usually cash flow.
No, they don't.
But it's tough. You have to be very creative.
And I usually start off with just the 1% rule. So the rent should be, if the rent's $5,000 a month, then the purchase price should be $500,000. So that kind of gives you a really quick and easy way to kind of see, is it worth analyzing further? And then we kind of go for the NOI and the ROI and see if it's worth it after going to the 1% rule.
And then the hotter markets, like Ottawa is quite hot as well.
Yeah.
We do what we call the 0.7% rule.
Yes.
So it's not 1%, but 0.7.
0.7%.
Yeah. It still means it can still cash flow if you do it properly.
Yeah.
You're very tight on your expenses and
But you're going to get that hot market appreciation.
Yeah.
So
Exactly.
It's close to the 1% rule, but not quite.
Right.
So those do exist. I mean, they take a lot of patience. We analyze, I don't know how many deals, but we're constantly looking at places and properties and nope. Because you have to have your number in mind. Like there's a certain budget or price per door or revenue per door. And if you don't have that, then forget it, because then that's a bad deal for you. Unless your strategy is something else, but that's our strategy.
Right. So in terms of price per door, what's your number? What do you guys usually go for?
Yeah, it varies per market. For how many? Like we always stick to properties that have mostly 2-bedroom units, because I think that's what rents out better.
Yeah, better tenant space.
So let's say in Ottawa, we would want to be $250 a door and less. In Cornwall, we'd want to be $100 a door and less.
125.
Yeah, 125.
Yeah.
So it depends on what market that we're looking at.
Moncton, more like 75 to 80K per door. Detroit, Michigan, 150, 125. So it depends where we're buying. So
exactly. Okay, so that's good, because that's another thing where people, again, mistakes I see some rookie investors make is not properly analyzing the specific market or sub-market that they're in, right? You can't just take one brush and paint all the same cities with the same brush, because again, there's hot markets, there's cold markets, etc. Now, you mentioned a couple numbers that are really important that I want you guys, Jennifer, to break down for the audience. Net operating income. Just because she's the numbers girl, right? She's the numbers person. So I want to give her flowers.
So the way I always remember it is net is like, I think of a visual net. So whatever goes through the net is
expensive.
It's what's left over. So the net operating income is obviously your expense, your revenues less your expenses. So I think that a lot of people don't take into consideration a few things like vacancy and
property management,
which is really important, because the bank, when they're underwriting it, are obviously going to look at those expenses.
Even if you
don't have them.
Yeah, you say I self-manage, they're going to put it in, and
even if you say I have no vacancies, there hasn't been vacancies for years. The bank, when they're underwriting it, like is going to be looking at that.
So no matter what, you have to budget that in. That way, in terms of financing, where to go to, etc.
Yes.
Okay, perfect. So right now, what are the markets that are interesting you? Like, in terms of what are you seeing right now in the market?
Well, I think that a lot of Eastern Ontario is kind of where we like to situate ourselves, just because it's close, and I think that it's a good market because it's close to Ottawa. But so there's lots of people that are like commuters within an hour of Ottawa.
Yeah.
But it's hot and crazy everywhere.
Yes.
So
it seems like it.
We started looking across the border to Detroit.
Yes, that's true as well.
Michigan. So.
Oh, no way.
Yeah, there's some insane stuff happening there. You can do perfect burrs and things. So I'm hoping to do maybe 4 of them in the next year. Well, this year.
In the American market.
Yeah.
Yes.
So we have a team down there, and you just pay cash, and then you refinance pretty much all your money out of the deal, and then you just rinse and repeat. So you get 3 houses.
Yeah, and the housing market, especially in a place like Detroit, it'll be like where you originally invested 5 years ago, right? I'm sure you can get some crazy deals.
So it's markets like that, like you said, the markets where you were investing 5 years ago is kind of what you always have to be looking for.
Right.
Saskatchewan is very interesting right now. It's a very flat market. Manitoba as well. So I encourage people to look and
That's funny because Saskatchewan is flat.
It is flat.
It is flat. It is flat.
Ontario is quite flat too, and it's a really crazy market.
Yes.
But it's because of the population base and stuff. But again, you can do your market research. Make sure you have good fundamentals. Get a Jennifer to do the numbers for you. So that's why working as a couple is great, or as a team, like joint venture partners. Each brings in a different element. One's more analytical, the other one's more pragmatic, and then you can put it together and make it happen.
No, for sure. And then my last question, excuse me, on the JV partnerships. What's the deal like? Like, do you guys split the rents? Do you guys agree to sell the home in a certain amount of time? Like, what does that look like?
Yeah, usually we do about a 5-year deal.
Yeah.
Because I think that kind of goes with the mortgage as well. You usually have a 5-year term on the mortgage.
Yeah.
Gives you a chance to have a lift. So if you have like any renovations to do, you have time to taste a little bit of the market appreciation. So I think that's always good. And usually whatever the split is between the partners, like depending on if you have credit and money partners and working partners. So there's usually a split of the cash flow each month. So everyone has a little bit of that. And then also at the end of the term, you have the split of the market appreciation and the mortgage paid down.
Yeah, so about 50-50.
For everyone, equal across the board.
We go equal, we keep it simple.
Yeah.
Of course, we're open to suggestions. Let's say it's a much larger deal, or it requires a lot more cash, then we're flexible. We'll adapt. But
we have a partner who has a very high income, so she doesn't want any cash flow. but she'll want to have just at the end of the
A
5-term
bubble.
year, like the bubble at the end. So
Right.
A balloon payment, you call
yeah,
it.
a
So.
balloon payment. That's
Yeah,
right.
and some people actually want the deductions, all the expenses. So sometimes it's yeah, it's a good JV partner. They have a high income and they want all the expenses. They actually want losses. So that's a different strategy we're looking into, like using losses on
Right.
the accounting side. I mean, you don't want a true loss, but there's some losses you can declare and it can be helpful to your partner. And since I don't have a
Right.
job anymore, then I mean, my income is very different, so I can have more income, and the taxation is different too. So.
Right. Exactly. Exactly. Excellent. So whenever you're at this point, you guys have a strategy. You have your fundamentals down. You're pretty comfortable going in and out of real estate transactions. What would you say for investors looking in or as they progress along this real estate journey? What should they be looking for in terms of a super team? Who are people that should be actively going out and hiring, or if they find someone to make sure they keep them for the journey? Accountants, lawyers, whether it be a broker, etc. What do you guys think are a necessity to have to be successful in this game?
Well, I think a mortgage broker is a really important one.
Number one, because your mortgage broker, I find, will give you some numbers, so what you can qualify for on your own.
Yes.
And I think it's good that you try it on your own first.
Yeah.
Like deplete all your options that you can do on your own.
If you're really into the real estate investing, if that's what you want to do, I would definitely start with your mortgage broker and go to them before you actually need the money.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Don't borrow money when you need money. Always borrow when you don't need it.
I'm happy you said that.
Yeah,
because you have to be prepared. And because the market is so hot, especially in Ontario, you have to know that you have to have a pretty good idea of how much you're going to qualify for before you go to the actual offer part.
Yeah.
Right.
So you have to have a good relationship with your broker. You have to have all of your ducks in a row. You have to make sure that you have all of that done, because you don't have time to fool around with that when it's actual offer time.
Yeah, like our broker, we don't work with you yet, but our broker, she knows all our numbers and all our.
That's excellent.
It's like, just call her up and she's like, yeah, you're good for another 500,000. So we just keep shopping. We're like, yeah, perfect.
Exactly.
Like right now we just qualified yesterday for another property, and she knew our numbers. I'm like, oh, just send me a renewal of this and that. B lender, because I'm no longer employed, but it still works. I still have some money coming in, so that's another alternative. The interest rate is higher, but it's not insane. It's not. I was pleasantly surprised, actually.
Especially, I would say especially today. A few of the lenders that we work with just came out. The lowest B lender rate right now on the market is 2.7, right? So
so that's good. It's insane. Like, so it depends on your situation, obviously, and your debt coverage ratio and all that stuff. But
exactly.
It's really so definitely mortgage broker, I'd say, is pretty much number one.
Yeah.
Then a good lawyer, yes. Well, number two would be a realtor. Yeah, you need a realtor that's new enough, kind of like the mortgage broker. They're hungry for deals and for your business.
Yes.
If they're too...
But they still know enough about the market so that they're not going to be fooling around too much with things that are...
Right, of course.
Yes, that's it. So you need some experience, but too much experience, then they don't care. They're like, oh, you're just a number. So you need someone that you still have that relationship that's caring. So same thing for your realtor. You need someone that's interested, that's hungry to sell deals or buy deals or work with you, and that listens very carefully, because sometimes we have some weird ideas, but it goes with the plan. I mean, you just don't ask questions. This place is falling apart, but yes, we're still interested in it.
Yeah.
Toilets and all.
Awesome.
And then I would say good insurance. So again, an insurance broker. As you scale, you'll need commercial insurance.
Of course.
Usually after like 2 or 3 properties, you start becoming commercial. Even if it's residential properties, it doesn't fit under your own.
Because you want to have civil responsibility,
liability.
Sorry, I'm translating from French.
And
No, it's all right.
vacancy insurance. So, and you can even insure if your rent is not being paid. That can also be insured. So it depends how much you want to pay and peace of mind and all that stuff. But you need a good insurance broker, and then a lawyer. Yes, but that's not as essential. Because it depends what you do with your lawyer. So if you have like joint ventures and stuff, then yeah, you want a good lawyer. But if it's just closing deals, it doesn't matter. And we like to go local. So wherever we buy, we like to have our lawyer that knows all the quirks and different things in each town. Because each city or town is a bit different. There's some towns you have to go in person.
Yeah.
They know all that funny stuff. So it's important to have local people.
No, for sure. I agree. So that's awesome. So now that you have your super team, I have to ask you, because not all of real estate is glitz and glam, especially on the investing side. Can you talk about some maybe, I don't want to say horror stories, but maybe lessons learned?
Oh man, yes.
Lessons learned. Screen your tenants.
Oh yeah. There's no friends in business.
Yes.
Your tenants are not your friends.
No. And I think that every time I've heard a sob story, the sob story is usually caused by the person sobbing. So
run if the person has a sob story.
And if you don't feel it, just move on to the next tenant, because you're almost always going to be right.
Yeah. Keep away. Like if there's my poor kids, blah blah blah. Just say your references didn't come through. That's the only legal thing you can say.
No, 100%.
Yeah.
Well,
so,
right now I'm pretty sure, didn't they just come out with in Ontario the rent freeze, if I'm not mistaken?
Yes. So you can't
in
increase
2021
rent.
You're not allowed to increase rent.
So that's why we like other markets. That's another reason.
Yeah.
That's true. That's good you gone to the American market, because the American market is there's a lot more. The American market, I find, is more investor friendly in terms of you can get away with a lot more compared to the Canadian market, which I'm not complaining, because during COVID, obviously, you want to make sure that tenants are kicked out or anything like that, especially if they lost their job or anything like that. But I find that the Canadian market and the Ontario government, we do have a lot of laws in place to protect the tenant, right?
Yeah, and there is a need for that. But I find what we have is actually working against the tenants. Because what they do, they're freezing their rent to some people that could pay maybe an increased rent, which is preventing the landlord from investing in the property because there's no cash flow.
Right.
And as things start falling apart more and more, you become a slumlord whether you want it or not.
That's true.
And I mean, and then you're forced. You're like, I can't invest, and I'm going to lose everything. And so that it's kind of a shame. So a lot of people, I think, there's some good landlords that become bad landlords because of some of the laws.
Right.
And also, it's so backed up that even if you are a tenant that is being abused by a landlord, because there are some bad landlords, I agree.
100%.
You can't get a court hearing or ruling, and you're stuck as a tenant as well. Mm-hmm. So it's really broken. People, like, we live on the border of Quebec. The laws in Quebec are even more stringent. But the one thing is their court hearings for the equivalent of the landlord and tenant board is really quick. Like within a week or two, you have a hearing. And it's, that's it. You're in, you're out, whatever. But at least that's done. So I think that's really lacking in Ontario. And it's very bad for tenants and for landlords. But
exactly.
I mean, I've seen, like, in other provinces where we've invested, where there's no tenant protection, some really awful situation, people living with mold and snow coming in, water, and they can't do anything. There's no recourse, so it's quite sad. But that
that's unacceptable.
From the fact that the landlord did not increase their rent and couldn't afford to repair, so it just went downhill. And
right. Do you know what? What you're saying actually makes sense, and this is the first time I've actually heard that perspective before. So thank you about that. So that that totally makes sense. Where a good landlord could become a poor one, just by the nature of not being able to increased rent, because that increased rent every year over year can be reinvested back into the property, right?
Yeah, I mean, if that's the goal, like if you're increasing rent just because you're greedy and you're doubling and stuff, I don't agree with that either. Like, I'm not here to like gouge people.
No,
We try to
exactly.
provide a good place, good quality, clean and good, but we do need to make a profit. It is a business. When I go to Walmart, they make money on my purchases, but it's kind of a lower end store. Well, we provide like a mid or average apartment, and it's clean, it's all fit, everything is repaired and
Right.
good to go. But
No, exactly. Hey, we actually have a question. Let's see. Oh, it's my cousin Chris. You guys are talking about the U.S. and Canadian market. Do you know if applied to the market overseas, like Belgium or Germany? Chris, that's a tough one. I don't think so, buddy. Unless my guess.
We haven't gone that far yet.
Yeah, no. Maybe in the
we
future.
have
We're not.
some information about France. One of your colleagues has some properties, I think, in France, but
yeah,
with COVID,
it's a totally different story.
Yeah, I just know about a little bit of the U.S. market, and that's just because I'm just learning, just getting in on a few projects out there, specifically in Florida. That's definitely a market you guys.
That's the market, yeah.
Would we'll connect. We'll connect. There's a lot of cool things I'm hearing about Florida and things they're doing over there. That's for JV partnerships. We're seeing a lot of Canadians starting to invest in Florida.
Nice.
Oh, wow.
That's what we like to do with Detroit is buy a few properties and then you can sell them and then use that cash that we've created to go to Florida and buy larger properties. So
Beautiful.
Yeah.
So I really want to get to this. Probably my favorite part. I want to know what's the end game for the Lantier family. What's the end game for you guys? Are you guys just gonna keep buying properties or give a certain goal in mind? Like, what's the exit strategy here?
That's actually a good question because we were talking about that actually this week. So I said to François, how many properties do you want? What are we doing? Where are we going? What's the end to all this? So what we would like is to have enough property so that we replace our revenues and we can either work or not, do what we love to do, and have one property for each of our kids that allows them the freedom to do what they want to do.
Beautiful.
And have one property where we just use that property to
donate all the
to
proceeds.
charities.
Because we're Christians, so we believe in giving to others and helping and giving back. So
Beautiful.
yeah, we follow a group of investors, and they have a company. They give all the profit.
Yeah.
So we'd like
charity.
to do that when we're
When we get there.
yeah, when we're self-sustainable and
No, exactly.
kids. Then the next one is it's all profit. We're gonna give to single mom, like I don't know,
some kind of charity that we have on our hearts.
at that time. So it might be a few years, but we're getting there.
Hey, do you know what? At least you're working towards it, and I can guarantee not a lot of I don't hear that answer a lot. And I ask a lot of people that question in terms of why they're getting into real estate or what's their exit strategy and their end game. And I can honestly say that's the first time I've ever received that answer. So, yeah.
I don't want a Lamborghini because if it gets scratched, then I'll cry. So I don't want fancy stuff because if I don't know, it gets broken. I get attached, so I'd rather just not have it and. Just...
But I think in Canada we're so blessed. Like if you think about it, no matter where you live or where we live comfortably.
No, we do.
If we already live comfortably, let's maintain that comfortable lifestyle because that's what we've become accustomed to, and then help others.
Yeah, because we don't need more. Like even the house we have here, it's ridiculous. There's rooms that you go into dust, and I don't need more. Like.
No, exactly. That's something I think over COVID, we've especially Canadians, we realized that we should be very grateful and for the country that we have. I'm not saying that it's perfect, right?
No.
But clearly we look at our brothers and sisters in the South, and they have their own problems that they got to they got to deal with. No, but excellent. So that's awesome. I want to it's about 45 minutes, so it generally times out around this time. We have a couple minutes left, but I want to give you the opportunity to give us a few last words, and also if people want to reach out to you, people want to connect with you guys, where and what's the best way to do that, or how I should say.
Yeah, I'll let François not the numbers guy, so I'll let him tell you.
Perfect.
So yeah, to connect, so well, I'm mostly me, but I'm very active on social media, and you can find Jennifer as well. We're kind of a group package, so when you talk to me, Jennifer either overhears about whatever's happening or eventually jumps in and says, no, 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 this needs to go this way. So anyway, on Instagram, so FL_homes_corp. We're also on Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, YouTube. We have a channel. We're not on TikTok. It's not our generation. We'll need to look into that.
I'm not on TikTok either, so it's all right.
Oh, wow, there you go. We are looking at, what is it called? Oh, it's a new thing. It's a new social media.
Snapchat?
No, not
Okay.
Snapchat. The one
I don't know.
that's
I'm not into all the social media.
Honestly, I'm in the same boat.
it's an audio one. What is it called? Clubhouse. Yeah, we're looking at
Clubhouse.
Okay,
Yes.
I haven't heard of that one.
Yes, it's all audio. It looks really cool. But anyway, so yeah, reach out to us on social media. And I've actually started doing some coaching. So for people that are beginning and that need some help and sometimes just some guidance, so I do some kind of early coaching to help people and direct them to people like yourself that they need a good mortgage broker, because they keep telling me, I want to go to the bank. I'm like, no, no, no. Slow down. Go to a broker, not the bank.
Yes.
The bank does have some advantages. Yes, sometimes it's worth it. Like you've gone through your broker and now the broker tells you to go to the bank, then listen.
Yeah.
Sometimes the bank has some funny special deal, but yeah. So you can do that. I do some consultation. And also we're very active with the REITE Club. REITE Club. So it's a virtual real estate networking club that's coast to coast in Canada. So very good.
And thank you, Charlie, for having us on.
Yes, thank you so much.
We enjoyed when you were on our podcast because I found that you were so knowledgeable about mortgages as well. It was like Francois wasn't there that time. He was actually
in New Brunswick.
Property.
Yeah, he was in New Brunswick. I remember that. Yeah. It's all right. Again, I can vouch. Like you guys are very active on the REITE Club, the REITE Club, excuse me, on your Facebook group, and I see all the work you guys been doing, and I have to say thank you too for not only inviting me on, but the least I could do is return to favor, because I feel like you guys have just so much value, and you're always willing. Like Francois, he's always on social media, you know, networking with people and always answering people's questions within the Facebook group. So just for me, I've been able to learn so much from you guys just from that little Facebook group, right? Without ever really getting a chance to talk on the phone or meet in person for a coffee or anything like that. So anyone who's looking to get in contact with them, I think Francois and Jennifer are an excellent. If you guys are doing consulting and coaching, I would vouch for 100% based off the work I've already seen. Right.
Wow, thank you.
No, 100%. And also, you, Francois and Jennifer, do run their own podcast, Wine and Real Estate.
Yes.
All right.
Yeah,
so
we need some wine soon.
Yes.
Yeah, with the lockdown.
Yes.
Yeah, we're not tapped out yet, but we still need more.
Perfect. So, other than that, any last words before we end this, guys?
Yes. So take action. So whoever is thinking about investing, take action. Call a mortgage broker, call someone, do one first step, and that's how you'll get started.
Yeah, that's true.
So people get paralyzed, like the whole analysis paralysis. I see it every day. The easiest way to get out of that is just tell someone, hey, I'm interested in becoming an investor. So reach out to Charles or Charlie. I like to call you Charlie.
No, that's fine. That's fine. I like it.
But our son is actually Charles, so Charles in French, and
that's my real name.
My grandfather was Charles Charlie,
yeah.
So that was his nickname. So anyway, but yeah, take action and don't be afraid. I mean, this is so easy.
I love it. I love the vote of confidence. Again, thank you, Jennifer and Francois, for your time today. I hope we stay connected. I really do. I want to stay connected with you guys. And we'll move everything on for the future. All right, guys?
Absolutely. Thank you. Have a good night.
Awesome. Thank you. Have a good night.
Thank you. Take care. Whoops.
You as well. Bye now.
Bye.